I'm currently at the intersection of Sherwood Road and Trowbridge Road, outside of the little town of Willits, California, about 4 or 5 miles outside of the town. Where I'm standing is right where the school bus would drop me off when I was a kid. So this here is a paved road, Sherwood Road, and then here is the beginning of Trowbridge Road, also known as Timberline Road. And so the school bus would drop me off here on the other side, and then it would keep going out a ways, and then eventually turn around and come on back. And so then I would be left here to get home on my own, at least a lot of the time. Sometimes I would get rides from my mom or dad or friends or who knows but otherwise I was stuck walking up on my own. And it's about a 1.5 mile walk. So just for the fun of it, I thought that I would do this walk, which I remember as being so difficult and treacherous, and well, not really treacherous, but a pain in the butt anyways, and do it with my adult legs and see how it feels. So I'm going to time it and see how long it takes. So heading up the hill. So I've come across something very exciting, all depending on your perspective. This here is bear scat. And my friend that I'm staying at said that he actually saw a bear last night, so that makes sense. There was one on the land there, which in all the years that I lived up here, which was 10 years when I was a kid, then I never actually saw a bear. My dad saw one once, and I remember sort of hearing of other sightings, but I never actually saw one myself, and I didn't see the one last night either, so I still haven't. But cool to know that there is, in fact, some serious wildlife up here. Alright, continuing up the road. Some nice views of the hills off in the distance there. And then right up here is the driveway to my friend's house where I'm staying. Here's the driveway to Richard Chinkopin's land. Richard Chinkopin was a good friend of my dad's way back in the day when I was a kid and everything. And he later went on to have a sex change. He's now Renee. I'm now on what my brother and I termed Killer Hill. It's a kind of long and steepish hill, getting fairly close to my driveway, and by this point, you know, you're usually getting a little more tired, and then you have this long uphill to go. But there's one difference, which is that there was less trees at the time, or at least they were a heck of a lot shorter. So it was kind of, more sunny and hot. Now it's just kind of a little stretch of sun there, but a lot of it is shaded. Apparently, this area was logged sometime before we moved here, which was around 76, 77. So maybe sometime in the 50s or 60s, this whole area was logged, and this road was actually a logging road. And then it was parceled up and sold. Now there's one other major difference, which is that when I was a kid, we didn't have power lines. There was no electricity out here. We had our own generator and solar power, 12-volt electricity for the basic things, and then we'd have to start up the generator if we wanted to watch a movie or something. So this, the power lines have been installed sometime in the past 20 years or so. I'm at the top of Killer Hill, and this here is just a really awesome looking tree. Oh, and there goes, I think that was probably just a couple turkey vultures. And this is the top of a couple people's driveways. There's one really steep one going down there, and then another one over here. Hi there. So I made it to the top of my old driveway. It took a grand total of 30 minutes exactly, including stopping to take little videos along the way, so it probably would have been more like 25 minutes or so. So not that bad. Definitely didn't feel nearly as torturous as back when my legs were about half as long. This here is the top of the driveway, and then it winds down. It's a really long driveway. So when I was a kid, there was a sign here that said BAM, B-A-M, and that was because we had this guy living here when we first moved up to the property named Bruce A. McCarter, so his initials were B-A-M, and he built this little cabin on the property as well, around the same time that we were building our much bigger house. He built this cabin all using pegs, no nails in it. And so then he lived there for a couple of years, and then he moved away. But as it turns out, my parents' last names, Batanti and Morris, happened to spell BAM as well, because my mom kept her maiden name. So we kept the BAM sign, B-A-M, and that's how we would identify it to people who were coming up to visit. We'd just say, cruise up Troll Ridge Road and take a right down the driveway at the BAM sign. And they have, there's a new owner here, so she's Starfire. And then across the way are a couple of other driveways, 2 other properties there. So pretty cool doing the walk. Once again, it definitely brought back a memory or two. And I can definitely say that I had a pretty awesome childhood hanging out in the woods up here. Beautiful area.